He has done it before. He will do it again. What are the odds, if left in office, that he will continue trying to cheat? I will tell you, 100%. Not 5, not 10, or even 50, but 100%. If you have found him guilty and you do not remove him from office, he will continue trying to cheat in the election until he succeeds.
In the very same building that Donald Trump delivered his first State of the Union address since being impeached, the Senate is expected to acquit him tomorrow. And tonight, the Republican members of the jury who swore an oath to do impartial justice upon Donald Trump applauded him over and over and over again, dear leader style. Senior legal affairs writer for Politico, Josh Gerstein, joins our discussion now. And Josh, I want to read you from another entity, the New York Times, an article about the Republicans' complete sense of control by Donald Trump. Donald Trump's control of Senate Republicans is nearly complete. Senate Republicans made it clear they see their fortunes and futures intertwined with the presidents and are not willing to rock the 2020 vote. Does that match your reporting, sir?
Yeah, except there are still a few Senate Republicans that continue to use the rhetoric of resisting aspects of the president's agenda and approach. I'm thinking of Senator Lisa Murkowski made some comments bemoaning what she called the apotheosis of congressional abdication, that Congress wasn't standing up for its rights.
What's she going to do about that?
Well, she was given the opportunity to vote to have witnesses, and maybe just with her would have put it pretty close to happening and might have led some other Republicans across the line. And she decided not to step up and do that. We also saw with Senator Susan Collins, she said, well, she might have been in favor of censure, but she didn't like the way the House handled the process. Again, the same kind of thing. Well, you know, what does how the House handled the process have to do with whether the president deserves to be censured or not?
Yeah.
So there are these disconnects in the statements by even those Republicans who seem to be struggling a little bit with what the president did.
You know, and Karine, the word is cowardice. Yeah. I think that these people are afraid of Donald Trump's base, and they are going to do absolutely nothing, bemoaning the apotheosis of Senate authority. Are you kidding, Lisa Murkowski?
And the thing I don't get is they're so loyal to him, to Donald Trump, and he's not going to be loyal to any of them.
Right. Nope.
And as he was speaking, as you mentioned earlier, they were like 4 more years. Yeah. Some of them who are up for re-election are not going to get 6 more years. I mean, and I say that because voters are not stupid. They are paying attention. We were in Iowa. Voters on the ground, they were paying attention to the impeachment trial. They understand that if you have a trial, you need witnesses.
Yeah.
And there were no witnesses. This was a sham of a trial. And I do believe many of those senators that are up for re-election in November are not going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about Ben Sasse earlier saying those making the justification. If Ben Sasse tripped on the ground, Donald Trump would not put a tiny hand out to try to help him up.
Yes, the justifications that are bizarre. Look, Congress is full of members of Congress and the Senate that do everything they can to avoid doing their job, because it's easier to face re-election without making hard decisions. But when you find yourself in that moment in the impeachment of Donald Trump, then, senators, this is on you when it happens again. And what Adam Schiff was able to do in that closing speech, which is remarkable in politics. You know, there's a saying in politics, don't wrestle with a pig because you'll just get slop all over you. Adam Schiff was able to go right at Donald Trump and keep the air of a statesman. And the most compelling part of his message to Republican senators was this. He said, essentially, Donald Trump's a bad guy, and he's going to keep doing bad things. Yeah. And you know that. And if you allow him to keep doing bad things, this is on you. He delivered that without getting the slop on him. He did it in a very statesman-like way because it was full of truth, and Republican senators refused to recognize it.
Yeah, and I'm told in my ear by the brilliant person in my ear that the end sentence of the end part of that saying is, and the pig likes it. Let's go over to, you know, because the thing that is sort of interesting is to watch the Republicans have shame about what they're doing. They're not proud of what they're doing. Yeah. They're out on the shows trying to justify it.
Well, they're trying to justify it because I think many of them are up for re-election. They're like, oh, shoot, this actually can cost me my job. But you had someone like Lamar Alexander who has no job to go to. He's retiring. He could have done the right thing. And what I believe what is happening right now with the Republican Party is that they do see demographic changes quickly. And so they are trying to solidify power for as long as they can,
Yes.
even if it means subverting the Constitution, even if it means subverting our possibility of what we're supposed to be doing as a country. And that, to me, is shameful. And it's also shameful because they are allowing corruption into our system. And we are the ones that go around and monitor corruption for the rest of the world. We want to make sure that there's checks and balances. And now that system we are breaking. And how are we going to be able to go into negotiating tables and say, no, you cannot be corrupt? Or like, we just saw what you just did.
Yeah, I mean, Josh,
I mean, it has serious consequences.
Any fear among any of these members that, let's say, Martha McSally displeases Donald Trump somehow, and then he goes and snags himself some foreign information on her and uses it against them? Are any of them worried about that?
I think a lot of them behind the scenes privately will tell you they're worried about all kinds of aspects of the president's behavior. But in terms of their public positions, as Congressman Jolly was saying, we're really looking at, what the previous Republican administration used to call a bunch of dead enders here. I mean, these are folks that are in for a dime, in for a dollar with the president. The folks who would peel off have really already gotten off the train, and these folks seem determined to stay on the train, regardless of the road signs, regardless of the red lights, and regardless of the cars and trucks that seem to be parked in the crossing just ahead of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lamar Alexander, Lisa Murkowski, all of you, just know this is all this is what you're going to be known for. Just know this is your legacy. Donald Trump. That's it. Your loyalty to him. Thank you all. Karine Jean-Pierre, David Jolly, Maria Teresa Kumar, Josh Gerstein. Thank you guys for watching tonight. MSNBC coverage continues after a very brief break.